we really underestimate our power. And when I say that, when I hear that, it kind of makes me like, ugh, stop talking about my power. Leave me alone. But what I really mean when I'm saying we really underestimate our power is that I'm not referring to it in like our power to change our lives and take over the world and become blah. Like, I'm talking about our power in the very subtle, simple ways. That's where our power awaits. And every single time I feel like I'm gonna get on my horse and take over the world, it always leads back to the same realization that the momentum is created through subtle, simple responses to life. So something I really loved that I heard, I keep mentioning him, Matt Kahn, one of my favorite teachers, guides, buddies, is he was like, this whole concept that there's free will, like it's such a burden, right? And in a way, like, what if we didn't have free will about the unfolding and it's all already laid out, right? Let's say there's like, I don't know if you had those books when you were little where like there is a book already and you can make different choices and they're kind of different endings, but it's the same book, right? And so he says, like, what if we actually didn't have free will, and based on what you choose, it like leads to different pages, but it's like, actually he didn't say it that way. He actually said like it's the same like blanket underlying the whole experience, right? But the way I kind of see it is that it's the same book, right? And so we don't have to take that whole burden on ourselves to write the book of life. It's like already written, right? So as it's not that disempowering to be able to like relax into that. Now, where is the free will at? It's actually through the simple, subtle responses of our life. That's what changes our experience. Now, every time I crash to the ground and I see people crashing to the ground, it's like hard to fathom, like, hey, just do this little thing. Like, take an extra shower. Take a walk in the park. Don't do anything for a bit. Light a candle. It's like, what are you talking about, light a candle? Like, my life is falling apart. And we underestimate the power we always have within every situation, in every circumstance, no matter what is happening, to reconnect with that power. The power to shift our experience from the inside out, not the outside in. That's the big difference. So, especially when the external reality is overwhelmingly treacherous and uncontrollable and horrible, that is the biggest invitation to go back to the simple, subtle things. Now, think about the simple, subtle things, the simple, subtle responses to life, is that we always see it as powerless. It's like, that's a waste of time. I'll do that when I have time. I'll do that when I bribe myself or celebrate. It's like, like, if there's a big fat problem in your external reality, in your life, that is the biggest invitation to go small, go simple. Now, the thing about going small and simple, why would you go small and simple, is that once you go small and simple, you realize you always have access to these actions. Super empowering. As you see the subtle, simple actions actually shift how you see things, how you see people, how you see yourself, your creative flow starts coming in, your body starts feeling better. It's easy. You're like, oh my God, I am a masterful, powerful being. I have access to these simple, subtle actions at all times. What the? And so tuning into the subtle, simple actions, especially when it's the scariest to do, is it gives you a stronger and stronger root system. See ourselves as trees for a moment, right? The stronger and deeper the roots, the more the tree can handle the breeze and the wind and the weather. This is what these subtle, simple actions are. It's a root system. Grows slow, grows deep, handles more, holds more, bears more fruit, grows taller. The subtle, simple actions are usually not highest priority to the ego. Ego meaning, it's not a bad thing, ego. Ego is like, this is the part I play in the world, right? It's like our ego sees itself as like a character that's defined or something, which is great. We get to play it, but we're not it. We're not it. These subtle, simple actions are actually a threat to the ego. Ego loves feeling big, feeling valuable, feeling like it really, really, really matters and everything is a really, really big deal because it wants to like stay alive. It's usually developed when we're really young and we figure out a survival system to handle all these crazy adults that don't seem very happy. So even the ego is like a small child that really, really needs you to have your subtle, simple actions accessible. In a way, our ego doesn't even want to like take over the show. It's just like, soul evacuated the body, need to take over, come up with a plan, figure it out with the mind. And so these subtle, simple actions, the way I like to see it is I have a basket of them and I keep adding to the basket. And I have them accessible at all times. And I pick from them like berries. I pick from the subtle, simple actions. I know that for sure if I doodle on my iPad with the mirroring effect and make these graphics and mandalas, it calms me. It puts me in a better mood. I feel more relaxed. We're not accessing highs of joy or passion or purpose with the subtle, simple actions. The subtle, simple actions, think of them as your value streams, your investments. Think of them as your, like people invest in crypto, you're investing in your valuable self. You're the value streams, right? And the subtle, simple actions, they don't just stay stagnant. They continue to flow. They return to you. It's easier to remember the more you remember to just try playing for a moment with a subtle, simple action, as big of as a waste of time as it may seem, just for the sake of being the scientist of your own life and seeing what happens. If you have accessible things that you can do, maybe you need to write it down first and try it again and again. Trick yourself into it. Manipulate your ego of like, we'll be freaked out and nervous in just a moment. For now, I'm going to go to my subtle, simple actions. And you pick one. So for me, it's the doodling, it's staring at the leaves and nature, it's just being still and staring at a spot on the wall. I don't know why I love that so much. I just love staring at spots and just being a complete blank slate for a bit, right? I love rubbing my toes with cream. I love staring at my eyes when I look in the mirror for a moment. I love playing with Bella, my dog, and just bitching around with her. I love taking really slow walks. I love holding crystals sometimes. I love journaling. I love writing poetry. So all these things that might not lead to a promised land of becoming the solution to all your problems, these are simple, subtle, accessible actions that lead to relief. They lead to relief. Relief is the purpose. Because when we access relief, it calms our nervous system and gives a signal to the body that it's safe and that it has everything it needs. So, understanding that it's the hardest thing to do the subtle, simple actions, even one of them sometimes, even for a minute, even for 30 seconds. Understanding, understanding, we like saying understanding, but that it's actually hard to make that choice and acknowledging that it's actually hard because it's a threat to the survival system because those subtle, simple actions are so powerful and they will transform your reality from the inside out, makes it easier to remember to trick yourself into taking the action. I've been doing this for over a freaking decade, and it always works, and I still have to trick myself into doing the subtle, simple action. The more I remember to do it, the easier it gets to trust that those actions are valuable. The more in relief we are, the more we are our authentic natural selves. As we are our authentic natural selves without the survival ego personality, the more safe we feel, the more belonging, the more supported we feel. We realize that we have space to be ourselves. It creates space to be ourselves. These subtle, simple actions fill us up with joy, with wanting to live. And as we light from the inside out, oh my God, there's a mosquito. I'm sorry, I didn't kill it. I'm not the best human. I have a thing about mosquitoes. It's flying around the camera. So we light from the inside out, and in our toroidal field, the toroidal field, it's like that. If you ever looked at it, it's like a donut. It vibrates from the inside out, and it transforms how we perceive the problems. And I swear, every time I do this, I experience miracles. I see things differently. A solution pops up. The thing melts away. This is how we can stop underestimating our power. Many of us were brought up into a system where, like, the word power has a correlation to becoming someone big or making a big difference, but none of those things really happen if we're not anchored in ourselves, in our true essence. They might be fleeting highs of ego trips, but those do crash. And those crashes of those ego deaths, they hurt like oh my God, how many times have I been on that roller coaster ride? Oh my God. Last week, maybe. Oh, maybe 2 days ago. So it's okay to have these crashes, because the more we crash thinking we need to embrace our power in that kind of way, whether it's the spiritual ego or like heroism, just like being a hero or like fixing the world, like that's all good and fine. But it's like a tree with no root system if we're not providing ourselves with an experience that feels good to us, feeling relief and relaxation. Vibrationally, if we're not doing our subtle, simple actions, oh, the mosquito's back. Oh my God, I'm going crazy. I feel like a cat. If we're not doing those subtle, simple actions, we're actually creating more harm in the world, if you really want to know, because it's a vibrational universe. So if I'm operating out of lack and urgency and fight or flight, I'm creating more of that vibrationally in the world. It's like the pebble that I am is creating that ripple, and it's just vibrating out and then reflecting back to me, creating evidence that I'm right. And it's funny because I'm right. It's like, great, I'm right, and it's real. Now what? Do I like it? No. So we want to like our experience, right? I mean, if I don't like my experience, I don't really care about nothing, right? In order to like our experience, we got to like ourselves. And in order to like ourselves, we got to do things that we like. So these subtle, simple actions, they're accessible in every moment. They're accessible when I'm hanging out with a family member that's really challenging for me. I can access these things. Like, I love doing this lately, just rubbing my own heart. Like, I love squeezing my own cheeks, and it's accessible, and it's a permission slip of like, you matter. You are matter. You are materializing, making matter by valuing you to be relaxed in your body. When you're relaxed in your body, that is when your soul feels safe to come in. I love seeing the body as the perfect vessel designed to embrace your soul, your speck of light that you are. In order to embrace the speck of light that you are, your body needs to feel open, safe, and free to follow what it likes and what feels good. in its own unique way. And so the subtle, simple actions are also really unique to you. A lot of us share them in common, but the authenticity is really crucial, right? So if you saw a podcast and they're like, if you do this exercise and if this is the breath work that you do, it's like, wait, maybe you need to do breath work for a minute, but is it the breath work that's authentic to you? Okay, I need to make art, it's good for me. Is it the artwork that you really, it matches you, it matches your soul? Is it watercolors or is it pencils? Those things matter. That is where our power is at, that authenticity. And it's okay to not know. It's okay to try it out. Like I realized I hated watercolors, okay? And then I was like, no, I'm never gonna do watercolors. I'm only gonna do it with pencils. And I was like, you know what? I feel like it's time for me to do something I hate. And I want to try watercolors. And I started exploring with watercolors, but it was so authentic to me that it opened up a whole new way of journaling daily with watercolors and like some words. And so those subtle, simple actions also evolve with you. They change. And rather than it being a stagnant practice, it's like, wait, we're not here to create a prison. We're here to create a playground for your soul to feel safe, to play in your body again, for your innocence to feel safe in this new adventure of life, this unknown of infinite possibility. And that infinite possibility reveals itself. That liberation, when we realize how free we are in every moment, even if the story of life is written with a feather pen on some paper that's really high quality, even if it's set in stone, we get to play in this playground. We get to relieve ourselves from writing the book of life. And that idea of what power is, we grew up with this idea that this power is like a burden, but what if our power is in that play again, in playing with life again, in that exploration to find our authentic soul signature again. So I guess this was a shorter video. First time that I didn't use lights and I'm laying on a biomat made of crystals and amp coils. So I just felt inspired to do something new today. It was kind of fun, kind of like it. Let me know how it felt for you. And if you want to connect more, I have a Linktree that's under construction, but there are options there. Okay, ta-ta.